Welcome back, New Gaming Order. We are hitting our next topic, and it's pretty much is something that I wish was in my school when I was going to school back in. Y'all don't need to know that. Plus, my birthday's around the corner. I'm getting old as fuck. But anyway,
Oh man.
anyway,
Oh
New
man.
Gaming Order.
Whatever.
I will have you guys know that I actually shout out to Alpha Omega Sin because I saw the title when I was just like browsing around on YouTube because I watch other YouTubers, right? And I had to talk about this. So shout out to Alpha Omega Sin out in PA. That's a cool dude. I talked to him like a long time ago. Try to see if we could have him as a guest on the show. But this is a formal invitation. Well, the second invitation. But if you ever get the time, we would love to have you as a guest. But eSports. There's a high school, I think it's either Norway or Sweden. I can't remember which one. Sorry, my notes are all fucked up. But a high school in Europe is looking to offer eSports as an elective for their curriculum. Hot damn. I wish when I was at Essex Catholic, now closed down, back in East Orange, that I was me and Demizzle, Shinwar. Oh, bro, that would have been dope. That would have been dope. But I don't know if it would have been for like credits, maybe like to replace gym. But then again, I wouldn't want it to replace gym because kids are getting too big in this country. That's a whole nother topic for another day. But
Jim is outrageous.
imagine if America adopted this. You know what I mean? I think a lot of kids would be staying out of trouble. The reason I say this, it won't solve everything. But, if you had a kid who probably just felt like out of place or whatever. Like, I used to be part of the art club. Me and Demizzle and Shinwar, that's kind of how I got introduced to them. But Demizzle I knew from freshman year in high school. And you go and look at having a sense of community, right? Offering esports, and the curriculum is supposed to say, hey, we're going to teach you how to become an esports competitor, link you up with sponsors, things like that. Bruh, that would have been dope in our day, So without giving away our age, Demizzle, what are your thoughts on esports? Supposedly, I think it's already in place in one school and maybe spreading, but man, that would be freaking awesome. And I think esports really is making a dent. You know what I mean? Because some of these kids probably get those NBA dreams, but like esports dreams. But what are your thoughts?
As much as I love video games, I have to disagree with you on this one.
What?
I understand your excitement for it, but like video games really don't have a place in school, like high school.
Thank you.
Like
Okay, I agree.
Like especially video games today, they're not the social outlet that it used to be. Like when we were growing up, video games meant you had to be sitting in the same room playing with your people, like passing the stick around. Now, like especially with esport games like Smite, Dota, and what have you, like the whole aspect of esports is like huddling in front of your computer with a headset on, like communicating commands to people, but you're not really interacting with them in the same room or anything. So it's like the whole point of high school is, in addition to learning things, is to help people become social.
Yeah, self-discovery and connecting.
It's more about the social aspect more than anything, because high school is all about social situations, like who you hang out with, who your friends are, what cliques you gel with, if you play sports or not. Esports by its very, like people say, "Ooh, esports in school," but esports is a very solo experience, even if you're sitting next to the person.
All right, and Demizzle, I want to add, Shin Raven said, right now, I don't feel video games are educational. It should be a leisure thing, maybe even a hobby thing for PC Master Race like myself. But you know what? I think to respond to you and Shin Raven, I think they're looking at the aspect of, you got some people who are becoming pro esporters.
I can
right?
understand if you want to teach like the business aspect, like,
And
hey,
I
this is
think
how you
that's what
go.
they meant. That
But
like with the
to actually
sponsoring.
sit someone down and like, hey, I'm gonna teach you how to be a pro in Dota or Smite or League of Legends, and I'm gonna teach you how to do all the lanes and like
Yeah.
just all the strategies and shit like that. No, I don't. I don't approve of that. I really don't. And that's
My,
not. That's not me being an old man. That's just me being sensible.
Hmm.
my only comment on this subject is
Takuma,
that
you jump your turn, sucker. But go ahead.
I jumped my turn because I gotta go. But listen, the only thing I have on this is that even though video games are cool, it's not an outlet for school. It shouldn't be there because
Mhm.
you should have.
I
When
don't
you're in
think it's
school,
trying to replace anything. I think
it
it's just an
doesn't.
addition
But
to.
it does take away the necessary basics you should be learning in school, regardless.
Hmm.
That's why it's separated. When you at school, you should be learning about school material, math, science, everything that the school has to offer.
Hmm.
You
Even
at
if
home and
it's
it's relaxed time, that's you get to play your games, everything else. Esports, it seems like a good outlet. I understand if they want to pretty much keep kids off the streets for like crime and everything else. I understand it. I'm all for it, but it should have a place in school.
All right.
Like I
Shin
can
Raven
understand.
also said esports clubs. No, the kids after school will go home and just play more. I don't think it'll fly for a younger generation. And just remember, I wish I had the article with me. It's elective. It's not supposed to replace
even if it's an
anything.
elective, like it
Hmm.
still shouldn't be like taking up school resources during school hours. I can understand if this was like after school program, like, hey,
Hmm.
I'm an esports pro and I'm gonna come in like X amount of days and whatever kids want to sign up for this after school program will
Okay,
hang
I
out.
think that's better suited. You're right. You're right.
But
100%.
as, like during school hours, taking up school resources, no.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So Nelson, what are your thoughts on this?
Uh, Hold on. We were talking about esports as a curriculum in school.
Yeah, that school in Europe is, I guess, experimenting with it, and it's just an elective, and they're trying to teach how to become a successful esporter, the business aspect, getting sponsorship, how to do time management, that kind of stuff. So just wanted to get your thoughts because Alpha Omega Sin initially covered that, and I said, okay, and I was looking at the article, I'm like, wow. I think it's Norway or Sweden. I can't remember which school, but I'll make sure I get the info for the link in the description.
Well, I honestly think if it's like an extra curriculum and it's an optional class that you can take up, it's not bothering nobody because you're still learning like your needed education first and primary of like getting out of school. But
Mhm.
what is the purpose of having esports as an actual curriculum? Like, what are you proposing to teach these kids? Like honestly, like, oh, you could play video games at a competitive level and make money. Is that all you're teaching them? Are you
Mhm.
not? Are you giving them granted access to
Mhm.
learn how to go about going into esports? Are you gonna pave their way for an easy access of getting into it? Because if not, there's no point to have it. That means that you're just having esports in that certain portion of Europe because it's very successful out there. You have your League of Legends, you have your Dota 2, you have your StarCraft 2. They do
Mhm.
very well out there, and that makes perfect sense. But MLG is dead,
Mhm.
and you only have ESL. So if you're not gonna get into ESL or
Mhm.
what is it, World Cyber Games, which is like technically an Olympics kind of way,
Mhm.
then there's no point to have it.
Hmm. Now, I think also what they're looking at, like leagues have beginnings. Like look at Pop Warner for football, and you have like Little League for baseball, things like that. So if you look now, like a hobby or a pastime, like America's favorite pastime, baseball. It started with people just playing stuff, like
Right.
at their leisure, and then now you got people making billions of dollars just to throw a baseball around. You know what I mean?
Correct, but now the thing is, what you just mentioned, I'll add on to it. If you started somewhere, now like with baseball, football, basketball, soccer, they have that in actual regular like high schools or even college to give you a pathway to getting into the professional sport that is the NBA or the MLB
Yeah.
or NFL.
Yeah.
Now, what my question is for the people who's doing this in Europe, are you giving them that same exact path to start out as bullshit casual gamers to become professional ESL or
Yeah, that's what they were
CG
saying.
contenders?
Yeah, that's what they were saying. Like, you know, I gotta. I'll be prepared next week. I am really sorry, guys. I fucked up, but the intent is to getting them into these leagues so that they can be successful. You know, I'm thinking also if this, you know, it might not fly here in the States, like Shin Raven was saying in the chat. He said it may fly in other countries. Yes, Korea for one, but not ideal. It's not popular, you know, and it's just, I guess, depending on the cultures too. You got a lot more like cyber cafes and stuff. Like, look at what happened to Web to Zone, eSpot, that I just found out about yesterday. You know, just it's not in the culture here, so maybe it might never happen here, but in other countries that might be a thing, and who knows? We might get scholarships out of it.
I see what it is now. No, I see definitely what it is now.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so basically, if I'm reading this correctly,
You have it in the Discord? I can put it up on the screen.
well, Goken,
I'll put it up there.
yeah,
Alright.
Goken just did it. Apparently, this is not something where you can just go to that particular school. Like, let's say if I lived in New York and I decided to move out there specifically for this curriculum and
Yeah.
take the elective, it's not gonna help me as a whole within esports. What it seems like they're doing is that they're gathering a team in that specific country to promote to go into esports, like just that country alone.
Okay.
So let's say you have France, you have Mexico, you have the US, you have Korea.
Oh,
you
you
got Japan.
Olympic level.
Right. So now you have Norway is forming one team within that curriculum year to boost them into esports. And they're granted, I think, when they start the course, they're going to be equipped with NVIDIA GeForce GTX 980 Ti video cards, including with other peripherals to get started. So technically, you're making a team within a school to boost up into bringing into the actual league.
Uh-huh.
It's
Okay.
not benefiting everyone in the world. It's just that specific country.
So they're doing like their own NXT, but for them, like in-house, and you know.
I guess you could say that, like an in-house structured team that they're gonna eventually bring out, you know, in the mid future or whatever.
All right. I mean, I think that was an interesting. Oh, we had our own perspective on it with not having all the details, but looking at it, I think I'm gonna keep an eye just to see. You know, you never know what can come of it. It might even change how, you know, professional gaming comes to play. Like maybe when we're done with gaming, you know. So
Well, I mean, we already have a system like that where we can segue into esports, but I'll put it this way: this would be somewhat of a personal portion of it. When I started in the board of elections, you have to find your way to get in politically. More or less, this is the same way with esports now. You could be a top pro gamer, like let's say we'll use the fighting game community. You could be a Justin Wong, but if you want to get into esports, you have to know the right person to get yourself into esports.
There you
can't
go.
Just make the jump.
yeah,
It's more or less the same way. You have to talk to the right people. And
it's who
show
you
them
know,
your
not
credentials.
your skill. Type
Right,
thing. Yeah.
right. Once you show them like your credentials of like what have you accomplished, they will look at it like as a resume. Where, you know, you can make gaming resumes. That's actually a thing now. And once
Are you serious?
Yeah, I swear to God, there's such thing as gaming resumes. Yes, that's how you think Gutex and Mike Ross getting all these sponsorships from all these other companies and staying afloat.
You know what? I believe it. I believe it.
So,
All right.
with that being said, you promote your gaming resume and you bring it to the right people. You might want to bring it to, let's say, Evil Geniuses, which is what Justin Wong is a part of. That's how he got on, because of his actual credentials, what he's been doing over the past couple of years. Same way how Flo got on before he left out, from Puerto Rican Balrog. Rico Suave got into multiple esports teams and then left because, you know, it was something that he wanted to do partially, whatever. That's up to them, but that's how most of these people get up in there.
Okay. All right.
What's another guy? Snake Eyes. He's now a part of Red Bull Gaming. which is apparently a big fucking deal now because they are actually putting 100% focus in esports.
Now, you know what? Just like if you play Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom 3 and you like Virgil, high risk, high reward. You know, I think that for those fortunate few that can really capitalize on this, you know, and they go this route, good for them. You know, but some people don't quit your day job. But for time, who do we have next? We have Gokin, right? The Gokin, did you get to speak on it?
I did not, but
Okay.
it could fit into like I think it should be like an after school or like you can have an elective course for it. I mean, because most students you'll see need some type of break from all the. You can only cram so much knowledgeable like math, science, so much in one day, you know. So adding that doesn't really hurt. If you were to do it in school, it wouldn't hurt anything. I don't think.
Yeah.
Because some kids go home and they can't even play video games. I'm saying.
Yeah, Gokin and I grew up in Haitian households. Man, we didn't see games for like the entire school year.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man, it was crazy.
I mean, it could be it could be something. I really don't think teaching people skills really helps.
I don't think it's about the skill. I honestly think it's more the business portion.
Yeah,
I think
you just play the games. We don't need to. You don't even need to train people on business portions of esports. It's just you just know business. You know what I'm saying? You get really good at something. You get followers, and you figure out how to make that work. Then you start doing part. You know, like it's not rocket science.
Yeah,
you know?
true.
You got to start. You got to start by practicing, and that's where it starts.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, on your knees. What are your thoughts, man? Imagine if they have World of Warcraft in RP. That would be freaking awesome. But your thoughts?
This is about that school that's doing the esports, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to read up on this. I briefly saw a portion of the Omega Sin video, but yeah, I'm gonna agree with Nelson. If this is extracurricular, that's fine, but I don't think this is something that it should be taught as a core class. There's other shit that needs to be learned into the kids' heads. Who the hell knows? But more power to them. They're trying to do different things, so good on them.
All right. Now, with that being said, make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. We're going into intermission so we can load up our next topic. So, I always encourage y'all to check out the director's cut. You see all the fuck ups on my end, and you get extra content in between. So that's always exclusive to Twitch and director's cut for our YouTube. All right, rate, comment, and subscribe, and join us for the next segment. Peace.